Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. I'm thinking ahead to the weekend and the interview I have with Alex Bennett. Alex is a friend of mine, long time, a radio personality, and he's up there in years, and we got into a friendly disagreement about old jokes. And as you'll hear Alex say, he doesn't appreciate them. And the way we got into this was pre-debate that we recorded this, is I was saying I like a nice, harmless Joe Biden is so old joke. I just had the late bot run some. And to me, these are harmless jokes. I like stuff like this. Joe Biden's so old, his birth certificate is written in Roman numerals. Joe Biden is so old, his social security number is 1. See, that's funny. Joe Biden is so old, he remembers when rainbows were in black and white. So those jokes aren't really about Joe Biden. They're just silly jokes using age as a premise. But Alex really had a problem with it. You'll hear about that in Saturday's show. And it's just top of mind on this side of the debate. Here on July 2nd, we're seeing the news slow down already. Don't worry, I've squirreled some stuff away. But as you'll hear, today is just a bunch of, we announced a couple things right before the holidays, so let's dive in. Bowen Yang, he'll have an Olympics podcast. I suspect this will do really well. I personally have Bowen fatigue right now. I really enjoy him on SNL, but I don't know. It's starting to be a little much, Bowen, but I have no doubt this podcast will do really well. Bowen Yang and Matt Rogers from Las Culturistas say this show will offer a different take on the Olympics, with each episode featuring a dose of the host before diving into the games. Bowen says we're going to get around to the Olympics. It's called 2 Guys, 5 Rings, so you're going to have to get through us before you get to the Olympics part. It will be 15 episodes. Yang and Rogers break down the top storylines, discuss the athletes to watch and the results, obsess over Paris culture, and find out what really goes on in the Olympic Village. They have put out one episode that you do that to seed your feed, and you can climb the charts a little bit, but the main thing will run July 26th through August 11th. Meanwhile, Colin Jost will serve as an NBC sports reporter for the Olympics surfing competition. He won't be in Paris, though. Surfing is being held in Tahiti. NBC calls Colin Jost an avid surfer. Jost will report live from Tahiti. Olympic surfing kicks off Saturday, July 27th at 12:15 a.m. Eastern. Jost will be on site to interview athletes and report on the conditions. Pro surfers Joe Turple and Mike Parsons will handle the play-by-play and analysis. Joe said, I'm honored to get to watch the best surfers in the world compete on one of the heaviest waves imaginable and help showcase the rich history of surfing in Tahiti. And my Writers Guild Health Insurance is excited to see what the coral reef does to my back. Now, if you're wondering why Tahiti, apparently the Seine River is not the best for surfing there in downtown Paris, but you've heard the phrase French Polynesia. Now does it all make sense? Yeah, so it's France, but, France over there, I guess. Joe said, as you can tell from this in no way doctored photo, I can't wait to get to Tahiti to cover the 2024 Olympic surfing competition and maybe even seriously get injured trying to surf. Jimmy Fallon will co-host the closing ceremony. Love this spin. After NBC Sports' Mike Tirico invited him while guesting on The Tonight Show. As if Tirico ad-libbed this. As if Mike just went on The Tonight Show and was like, you know what, I'm just going to ask Jimmy Fallon to do this. What if he says no on live-to-tape television, Mike Tirico? I'm not buying your story. Is Jimmy Fallon going to be like, no, Mike Tirico, I don't want to do that? Are the bosses at both NBC and the Olympics going, wait, they asked Jimmy Fallon? Oh, shoot. Don't try and hogwash us, guys. How fake. Stop with your spin. Kenan Thompson will also co-host a highlight show with Kevin Hart on Peacock. Kevin Hart never afraid to take a gig. Leslie Jones will also be doing some work for NBC/Peacock. Meanwhile, would you like some boneless wings? One of my favorite comedians, Jimmy O. Yang, is working with Popeyes. Jimmy O. Yang, apparently known for his skepticism about boneless wings, has teamed up with Popeye, promoting 6 mouth-watering varieties like Classic, Honey Lemon Pepper, and Signature Hot. Well, what are the other 3? Now I have to go to Popeyes.com? You got your click, but come on. I mean, it's only 6. Tell me what they are. All right, it took a lot of clicks. According to Popeyes.com/menu/section E4, there are 5 sauces, not the 6 mentioned in the press release. The 5 on the actual Popeyes website are sweet and spicy sauce, honey barbecue wing sauce, roasted garlic parmesan wing sauce, signature hot wing sauce, and honey lemon pepper sauce. Well, what's the 6th sauce? Mel Brooks still out and about. You can join him at the Peacock Theater Saturday, July 27th for a celebration of the 50th anniversary of Blazing Saddles. We got a trailer for the best Christmas pageant ever, an inspirational comedy starring Judy Greer and Pete Holmes. The best Christmas pageant ever centers on the Herdman kids, who are the absolute worst. They lie, they steal, they bully, and they've hijacked the town Christmas pageant. As the rowdy and raucous siblings force themselves into all of the lead roles, they drive the pageant's director Grace, played by Judy Greer, and other members of her family, including husband Bob, Pete Holmes, up the wall. How Adam Sandler's not in this, I don't know. I know what an Adam Sandler plot sounds like, and this is one. But through their mischief, I like that writing there, these unlikely messengers might turn out to be the ones to deliver the town's sensational and moving portrayal of the true meaning of Christmas. Ronan Hirschberg has yet another special out today. Comedy Dynamics releasing It Could Have Been Better. It'll be out on album form on July 5th. It Could Have Been Better is Hirschberg's fourth special overall, his second in the last 2 months. He released one on June 20th that I watched over the weekend and told you, it's okay. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It just is. That one's called Brave. You'll find that on YouTube. Comedy Dynamics also announced the acquisition of Tony Rock, Rock the World, the debut special from comedian Tony Rock. You may have heard of Tony's brother Chris, also a comedian. Among Tony Rock's credits, he has been seen on the series Everybody Hates Chris. Jason Zinneman from the New York Times. We all like him, right? Now we all know who he is. He caught up with Keith Robinson and wrote, with the changes to his movement and speech, Robinson's stand-up has new gravity and pace. After considerable speech therapy, Robinson can tell jokes but must work harder to be understood. Keith says, everything has to be more precise now. Everything counts. I can't depend on movement. After his second stroke, which was far more debilitating than the first, Robinson briefly thought he'd have to quit performing and become a writer. Chris Rock hired him to help with Rock's recent special, but Robinson missed being on stage, hang out with comics, and most of all, busting chops. Drew Carey wants to keep hosting The Price is Right. He says, I do have a goal. I want to keep going until I die. This is my 18th season. I've got to get to the 35 and 41 year mark so I can catch Bob Barker and Pat Sajak. Drew says, once I hit 10 years here, I was like, wow, that's the longest I've ever had a job in my life. It's just such a great part of my day, my year, my life. I can't imagine giving it up. I don't like CBS to know that, but it's going to be a few years till my next contract negotiation, so maybe forget I said this. I can quit anytime I want. Amber Ruffin came out on social media. She wrote, what will come as a shock to exactly 0 people. I'm using the last day of Pride to come out. Be proud of who you are, little babies. I know I am. And I can't wait to be discriminated against for a new reason. And that is your comedy news for today. See if you can figure out what the 6th sauce is and let me know. See you tomorrow.